What's up, Notre Dame fans? Mike Singer and Todd Burlage here from Blue and Gold with our final thoughts, observations, and prediction video. Tim Hyde and I weren't able to work out our schedules to record this video Thursday night. So we have Todd Burlage, longtime veteran Blue and Gold writer, to join us in the video. Todd, it's been a while since you've been on our YouTube page. Welcome back, my friend. How you doing?
Not bad. Nice to be here, Michael. I know it's down a little bit on the depth chart, but hey, I'm off scout team at least.
I will say, I obviously have the best background in the business. This is a fathead that sits on my guest room wall. This is not a virtual background. You're second, Todd. You got loose emoji behind you. I see Notre Dame jersey. You got all this memorabilia. I see the SI, the Wheaties. I mean, yeah, you can't beat Todd Burlage's setup. So, sweet man cave there. Okay, let's talk some Notre Dame football. Let's dive into your three keys to the game. And Todd, I know that you wrote an article, and I'll pull it up on the screen. On paper, a unit by unit look at what awaits number 16 BYU versus Notre Dame. You really break down all aspects of the game. So I'm sure in this video we'll kind of touch on some of those points, but I would definitely urge folks to go to blueandgold.com and check that article out. But key number one to the game for you, Todd, is stopping this BYU quarterback. Jaren Hall has been fantastic this season.
Yeah, he's a fantastic player, definitely a NFL caliber type of guy. And he's played in a lot of big games, Mike. I mean, they went undefeated against the Pac-12 last year. Obviously, BYU is an independent. At least they're joining the Big 12 next year, but this is their last year as an independent. But I mean, Hall, I'm trying to check it out here, Mike. Bear with me a little bit. This year he has 12 touchdown passes, only one interception, and his 70% completion percentage is 21st in the nation. Guy's the real deal. He gets rid of the ball quickly, which I think makes it tough. Obviously, it's hard to disrupt him, and he spreads it around big time.
Yeah,
you have
several receivers with double-digit catches.
Yeah, 8 different receivers have at least 7 receptions, and 8 different ball catchers have at least 1 touchdown. So that kind of that doesn't, the way Notre Dame's receiver core looks, that's not very much of a comparison, Mike.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into the score predictions later. But if I were a betting man, I'd take the over. The over/under at this game is at 51. I think that dropped from 52. And pulling up trusty odd chart here, and the consensus 67% of people thinking the under 51. And I'm thinking this BYU passing attack is really good with Jaren Hall, and BYU
and Notre Dame's showing some signs of life. You know, you have to think they're going to start scoring with that offensive line improvement. I'm with you on that, Mike.
And Todd, BYU's run defense is not supposed to be that great. So that's Notre Dame's that's where they're going to thrive. Where Notre Dame hasn't thrived, I would say, is the turnover battle. I don't think off the top of my head, they haven't turned the ball over a ton, but it's hard to win the turnover battle when you're not forcing any turnovers.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they're -1. You're right. There hasn't been a lot to report either way. I believe it's 5 giveaways, only the 1 takeaway, the fumble recovery against North Carolina. I believe they're slotted 117th, tied for 117th in the nation with that -100 turnover margin rate. That's it's such a contrast to last year. And I've talked a lot about how fragile a football season is. You know, 4-0 last year, but boy, that was a
Right.
type of 4-0, 2-2 this year. And really it comes right down to the turnovers, Mike. Opportunism. I think that's where you have to jump to. That 4-0 team last year for Notre Dame had already created 11 turnovers and scored 52 points off of those 11 turnovers, including the 2 interception returns for touchdown against Wisconsin in that Shamrock Series game. This year, you got the 1 turnover. You did get 7 points off of it, but man, what a drastic difference. You hope that can turn around. You would think with the personnel it could, but so far we haven't seen much to suggest otherwise.
Of course, folks, we are previewing Notre Dame's October 8th showdown against number 16 BYU, Las Vegas, Nevada, Allegiant Stadium, where the Raiders play 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time kick. Game can be seen on NBC or Peacock. I have to throw that out there. I actually watch it on Peacock because I don't have cable. I do have Peacock, though.
You're new school, man.
I'm very much new school. Okay, and key number 3, Todd. You told me interesting coaching / school matchup. Tell us why this is a key for the game.
Couple of independents, faith-based schools. Not a lot of history. Only 8 games between them. Notre Dame is 6-2 overall. I guess maybe the most interesting one I can think of is how Notre Dame really had a tussle with BYU in 2012. Got through it. I believe it was a 3-point victory, 17-14. I'm working off the top of my head a little bit there. But the game before, they had to beat dang it, I can't remember, but they won in overtime against Stanford, and then they survived BYU. Then they went to Oklahoma. That was when Oklahoma was a 10.5-point favorite, and we wondered, oh boy, if they can't barely beat BYU or Stanford, this is going to get ugly. The rest is history. They blew out Oklahoma on their home field, went to the BCS championship game. So really not a lot of history with BYU, but Kalani Sitake, he's a great coach. You know, the Cougars have quietly gone 21-4. They in 20 and 21. They finished in the top 20 of the AP poll both years. Obviously off to a great start this year at 4-1, number 16 in the country. This is a dangerous, well-balanced, well-coached team that returned 16 starters. And Sitake, he coaches them well. They relate to him. He's a good guy. And they have a lot of veteran players, Mike, given the Mormon faith there and the Mormon background with the school.
Yeah, plenty of players go on their LDS mission trips. So I think they're gone for 2 years, and that doesn't affect their eligibility. Their quarterback's like 24, 25 years old.
Exactly, yeah. You only get, obviously you lose maybe some of the training, but certainly you can pick that up and be a bigger and stronger than maybe you were when you left.
I still have some eligibility. Maybe I'll go play for BYU. Going back to that 2012 season, great memory there, Todd. 17-14 BYU, Stanford, BYU, Oklahoma. You, did a great job recalling that.
Yeah, and then they kind of rolled then for the most part. They did have a tough tussle with Pitt after that, but for the most part, it was kind of smooth sailing from there and getting to that 12 championship game.
Going back to your point, we were talking about key number 2 and how Notre Dame last season was 4-0. Man, just think about Toledo. They needed that game-winning drive, and it was like Marshall game this year is kind of feeling the same thing. The difference being Jack Cohn led them to a touchdown, and Tyler Buckner threw a pick six. So,
Mike, what I wrote about a little bit today was just, with so few games in a football season, it's so fragile. Everything's so fragile, and the reactions are just overreactions most of the time, and the mood swings can be swift. You talked about how some people dumped us after the Marshall loss. I thought
Todd, if Notre Dame beats Marshall, Notre Dame's 3-1 and a top 10 team right now. Who knows? College game day could be out in Las Vegas. I mean,
they would have beat them anyway. It didn't even have to be pretty at that point after an ugly game. It wouldn't matter. If you just could have found one play. And you're right. And then you go to Toledo the year before, inside of 2 minutes, a 3-play, 75-yard touchdown drive. And they needed a touchdown drive. They couldn't even tie it. They were down 4 at the time. So just how a couple plays can really swing fortunes.
Tim Hyde texted me. He said his score prediction is 30-20. He's going with a Notre Dame win by 10 points. You see Odd Shark. It's just kind of this
going under that
data website. Yeah, he is going under. Data website, they have the score if we're rounding up 39-38 BYU. So blowing the over. I'm intrigued to see what you think, Todd. I've got Notre Dame 34-26. Beating out BYU, and the key to the game for me is really that Notre Dame rushing attack. If they can, if they run the ball, I think they're just going to win the game running away. No pun intended. 8 points, but a comfortable 8. What say you, Todd?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I saw Tim posted something earlier on our message board. He talked about, controlling Hall and how efficient Hall has been. So I honestly look at that part of the game more so than Notre Dame's offense.
Sure.
Can they stop Hall? Can they control Hall? I think they will run the ball. Man, it seems to me 34 points, Michael, is a little bit ambitious for my needs. But I like Notre Dame getting to 30. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be 30-28 Irish.
30-20. Yeah, the line being at 3.5, from what I know about gambling, and I'm not a gambling man, but if I were, 3.5 is a hook. So you're supposed to take BYU. But, I'm going with the Irish to cover. BYU hasn't been great lately. I like Notre Dame, but hey, a win is a win at this point for the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And that will do it for this video, folks. Please hit the thumbs up on this video, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content. Myself and Tim Hyde will be live after the game Saturday to break it all down. Sunday night with Mike Goolsby to talk about it there as well. So we have you locked down here at Blue and Gold on our YouTube page, as well as our website, blueandgold.com. Check it all out. Appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you next time.